Go bumping.
See his head.
Nobody else hears that, right?
They sure don't. And you guys should all be jealous because it's fantastic. What's going on?
What's going on, Wisey?
What's up?
What's up, guys?
So, Monday night,
Last minute
here we
Skype
go.
account.
Lost me a Skype account. Apologies for the delays, guys. We had a few technical difficulties with Patino up there, but we got him in, so he's here, and we are here for episode 4, 2B's One Hive. Lot to talk about, that's for sure. As always, here with the man, almost not here, but he is here now. As I mentioned, Jake Redenbaugh on my top left. I got Mr. John Parshall up in the middle, and up on my top right is Rob Dvorak, Dr. D.
What's going on?
Good evening. So,
Howdy.
couple things. We do have full control of our website. Did you get in with Clutch yet to be able to have it downloaded from the website? Actually, I meant to ask that prior, and I forgot, Pitt.
He got to me. I have not gotten back to him yet. So,
Okay, so
Clutch, if you're
it's your
listening,
fault.
it is my fault.
So strike 2 for Pitino, and we're about 2 minutes into the podcast. So
Hey, one strike is a big deal. I still got one left.
anyhow, guys, we are updating the website. We do have full access, full control over everything right now. Me and my brother-in-law Clutch are actually official owners of the brand 2.0, which is awesome.
Woohoo.
Got everything from Nemo, so everything's done. So very soon, all the episodes will be available on the website at OneHiveClan.com, and obviously, hopefully, you subscribe to us on Twitter, and obviously sub to us on at OneHive Labs, so you can get all these great notifications. So. That being said, we do have featured guest. He's waiting for us, and we are already late, so I'm going to try and fly through some of this stuff because I don't want to keep it waiting too much longer. But we do have Clash with Ash coming up in the second half, so stay tuned, guys. That's going to be a great conversation. I know JP's got a lot of questions lined up for the guy. I got a lot of things I want to say, too, so looking forward to that. But let's kind of start things off with Dr. D. Take it away with the Invicta recap. We got CWL Week 1 in the books. Things are looking okay over in the Invicta camp from what I can tell.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good. So, week 1 could have gone better for us. We went 84 to 85 against North Awakens. The Town Hall 9s and Town Hall 11s did a really fantastic job. Town Hall 10 triples are just hard to come by. They pulled off a couple. I think we had maybe one, but just wasn't quite enough to get the W there. It's the Invicta guys are really coming together. We actually just had another a random spin where we matched Immoral Reapers, and our Town Hall 11s went 10 for 10. I mean, it was dips, but I tell you what, those things are no gimme, as I say all the time. So. The Town Hall 11s are kind of right where we need them to be. Town Hall 9s started out pretty good in this last random spin and then petered out a little bit at the end there, but looking good. This week we've got Trollstein, who also, they just lost by 1. I don't even know how to say the name of this clan that they lost to. It was one of the foreign... a foreign named clan? I don't know. I could pull it up quick, but they also lost by 1. It was funny because they had matched them in a random spin like 4 days prior and won by.
Oh, really?
Yeah, won by like 4, I think. And then CW
lost by 1.
around, and then they lost by 1. Yeah.
Oh,
wow. We're both looking for our first win in the first season here. I think it's going to be a good match. Invicta's our 10s are little, right? I think we maybe have just a couple of those tier 5, max heroes type of 10s. So those 10v10 triples are hard when you've got like a 32 queen and
2.0 may have absorbed a few of the max Town Hall 10s in the off season.
Yeah,
maybe just a couple. I don't remember.
I mean, those are the breaks, right? When you're, that's kind of what Invicta's job has been in the past is to move people up into 2.0. So But regardless, we had a great season last season, and we're looking forward to a good season this season. And I think these guys are I think we're going to turn a corner this next week. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, hopefully, and it's nice to see the nines doing their job and coming down to basically what the war should be coming down to, and sort of the 10v10 trips, which it's tough. I mean, JP Pitt can definitely vouch for that. We put in a lot of planning into a lot of attacks that can just the slightest timing, the slightest tile means the difference at Town Hall 10. So. But that's good. Absolutely. Nice to see Invicta. Uh, Although it wasn't a victory, at least come out looking okay, looking like they're going to be able to compete this season.
Yeah.
Because like I was joking sort of before, but we did literally snipe quite a few of the top Town Hall 10s at Invicta, soaked them up into 2.0 in the off season for the invite season. Just because with the 40-man rosters for the invite league, I think we had to have upwards of almost 20 Town Hall 10s on the rosters. So at least plus 15. I forget exactly what the number was, but
Yeah.
all right, awesome.
Yeah.
So what else did I have here? I know a lot of people probably are asking questions because from the last podcast we did, we were sort of right in merge with Genesis that we were trying out, and we were sort of just talking about how good it was, and then actually the very next day things didn't work out as well as we had hoped. I know a lot of people are asking questions about that, so I'll just say, at least straight from the leadership side, from what I saw, things sort of started out good, but again, we were trying it, because you never know, right? Like, you on paper, sure, it can look good. You can sort of come to some terms and agreements, but until you start actually interacting with each other on a regular basis, you don't know if everyone's going to mesh and everything's going to work. And unfortunately, it didn't work. So there were no hard feelings whatsoever. Like, there's really no story to it, at least from what I can tell, other than it didn't work. I know a part of it was, yes, they weren't a fan of that. We were in discussions with potentially bringing in some Golden Goblin guys. That were cleared. We were vetting all of these Golden Goblin guys, like at least a handful of them. So whole other story to that, but for some reason they really didn't like that. But a lot of other things, it wasn't just that. There was just a lot of other things that just didn't mesh with them and their system. And we decided it was best just to stay how we were prior to the merge we were sort of attempting. But obviously, best of luck to Genesis coming up in the future and their CWL season. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts you wanted to add to that.
No, they're cool guys. I think that I don't know. It just didn't feel right. I think to a lot of people. Like you said, there wasn't really any drama.
Not really. No, it's
I
not
mean,
like
that's really all she wrote.
Yeah.
there
It's
is. Go ahead, D.
it's kind of a different feeling, I think. I mean, they came up through the ranks, working their way up to get into Genesis, and we've got guys that have come up through the ranks, working their way up to 2.0, and I don't know, yeah, it was a different feeling. Nothing, nothing bad, no shade to cast, just different.
Yeah, yeah. So best of luck to them. What else do they have? I mean, some tying into that though, with some huge news this week. Obviously, they had this ban wave. I did want to bring that up, but sort of lucky for us because a couple of the guys that we were trying to vet to come in from Golden Goblins were part of that ban. For whatever reasons, I don't know.
My understanding was it was like account sharing with modded accounts, or I don't know if
like
you guys
someone
know.
used your login info on a different device that had modding third-party software on the device.
Right.
That's sort of the gist that I got as well. But I did see, I'm not going to put the meme up, but I don't know if you saw the meme, because there was a whole bunch of controversy about Golden Goblins. So I guess I'll just give the story from our side. We did release on Twitter sort of our overall thoughts. We were in discussions with some of the Golden Goblin leaders, Hergoth and Spence. wasn't really conversations with me, so I can't really speak firsthand. But we were trying to attempt to bring in some of their players that were looking for a home and vet them and make sure they're coming in on clean accounts and everything was good. Um, and so we were in discussion and we had a list of players and we were trying to get some advice from the CWL admins about we want to be 100% open, make sure that all the players we were considering bringing were cleared and approved and everything was fucking fine. So we reached out to Chad because obviously we have communications with Chad. He's an admin. A few of the named players that I won't necessarily name, but a few, I'd say at least two, if not maybe three, but definitely at least two players. He advised us to be careful and that they would probably, I think, quote unquote, was that they would give us trouble. So did not said that those players aren't in the cards and didn't take them. And lo and behold, later on in the week, forget how many days it was, Golden Goblins decided to pull out, and none of them wanted to come join, and they all went to join PC, or at least a big chunk of them. Few of them being these very players that chat told us would be trouble and not to take. So that's sort of where this all came from. And because we had already involved not only chat, but the other CWL admins about us taking in the Golden Goblin players, well, as soon as they decided to not come to us and go to PC, well, all the admins were already involved as is, and from that point on, it was out of our hands. They all of a sudden there's this investigation, and that was it. So I mean, our side of the story, we don't care if that's be where you want to be, play where you want to play. Honestly, no hard feelings whatsoever. We wish the best to chat, but that was sort of that situation. No names. That's right, Bell. Bell's in there. I did get a chuckle out of your comment on my liver earlier, JP. I didn't notice that, and we were already talking when I read it. But what were your guys' thoughts? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we were skeptical about things going in to begin with the Golden Goblins, thinking that absorbing any of their players. For some reason, I just didn't think I didn't think that they'd be a good fit. Um, I don't know. I just had a bad feeling about it from the beginning, but at the same token, awesome talent is always welcome, right? As long as it's actually talent.
The whole chat thing happened in between the last podcast, didn't it? I don't think we actually discussed
it did.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% it did.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, too long didn't read. We wanted to bring them in. They were a little sketchy. Chat was a little sketchy, which is why he's no longer an admin. Everyone was being a little sketchy, and some guys got banned. And I'm kind of glad that we didn't take them in now. But
what I was going to say earlier was about the meme going around Twitter. I was going to pull it up, but out of respect for Chat, I'm not going to. But it was a meme of Chat of this guy holding a gun to his head with Chat's face superimposed, saying, "I give up admin to bring in GG closets." 3 days later, they get banned.
they lost their CWL matchup. Do we know if those guys were in the matchup and got banned? Couldn't hit.
Real quick, I'm gonna go to this, and then we'll try and take a quick break and see if we can get Ash in here because I don't want to keep him waiting too much longer. But I do have. I'm gonna flip on over and just kind of go over the scores for all of Invite Season 1. To be honest,
yeah, cool.
There it is. So first and foremost, probably the matchup of the, if not season, at least the week, if not season, was Dark Looters versus War Whales. 94.7% for Dark Looters, 94.82% for War Whales, and they come away with the victory at 115 stars apiece. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Guantanamo Bay has been looking actually really good from what I've seen as compared to the Guantanamo Bay. We wore it 6 months to a year ago. These guys are competitors for sure. They took down North Remembers. 112 to 106, probably not a score that North Remembers was happy with. So we face them next week, I believe. So they're going to be out for blood because they're not happy with that result for sure. Then the next one down in Moral Thieves, taking down Power COC, 113 to 109. Power COC as well. sure not. You're generally going to want to be at plus 109 if you're going to want to compete. You're going to see all these main clans, or all these winning clans, I should say, getting scores of 111 to 115 is probably what it's
That's
going to take to get you a win. So Buy Forever actually taking down Elite Gaming. Elite Gaming, I believe, is that Ash's clan? Is
This
that
sounds familiar. We just matched
Yeah.
Warballs right afterwards.
it is? Yeah. So sorry, I got such a. I thought I knew. I was pretty sure. So what was the score? 110 to 108. Close one there. Spartan's Legacy, Somi Cogcat. This Japanese clan actually was very surprising. They right after the CWL final, they matched up against Dark Looters and took them down on percentage from what I saw. So they're going to be forced to reckon with. Fake Wargasm taking down the Killer Bunnies. Obviously, Beast Mode taking down OneHive 2.0. Cold September getting taken down 111 to 106 by Bada Bin Clan. PWC loses to the Swarm. The Swarm is a force to be reckoned with. Another clan, the only other clan to put up 115 stars. Six Schlitz is taking down War and Glory. I think that's a big win for 6S for sure. EE taking down North Watchers. 112 to 111, so pretty good scores for both sides there. Reddit Alchemy taking down Annihilate, that's another good one. OneHive squeaking out with a 113, didn't quite get the 115, but OneHive looking strong as well. Reddit Omega, you're putting up a 113, you don't expect to lose all the time when you put up a 112. So when you keep going down, you look at Marina Trench 111, losing to Dark Looters at 114. Tactical Inc. Taking down Kansha, another Japanese clan, 114 to 112, and WHF taking down Midwinters, 109 to 104. So very interesting first week, but it is in the books. Unfortunately, we drop 0-1. I think we're going to bounce back, though. I saw some great things this war. Anyone that's part of the 2.0 behind the scenes action and planning for the wars right now, I think should be excited. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
We had so many people planning on Discord and on Voice. I mean, there were probably 20 people. I think that Beast Mode is going to be one of the fly under the radar, really good teams this season. They are solid. I mean, I think that everyone's tens probably need a little bit of work, but they're really good. I don't know what.
Oh, someone pointed out Solomon Killcats from Finland. Maybe
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I 100% am wrong. Whatever. I just guess.
Actually, what Pitt's saying, even though we lost, I'm as competitive as anybody, and I hate losing, but I just felt different after this one. Woke up the next morning actually feeling okay because I know the effort that went into it, and really all the new people we brought up, and it feels great because we've got everyone that's here now wants to be here, and we're really building a family bond there. And like Pitt said, to have 20 people in chats on Voice, we had multiple rooms, planted multiple attacks. It was a good feeling.
We put up 110 and only 110 versus 10 trip, and I think we can quite easily, with the way we've been progressing from what I've seen, those lower weight 10s are going to be no problem for us whatsoever. Like, and the fact that CWL sort of dictates how that has to be, I think we're going to start having some serious success on those lower weight Town Hall 10s, tripping them no problem. So a lot of it's base design as well. Actually, I'm finding more and more at Town Hall 10. To be honest.
I'll give them props. They had me really racking my brain on some of their bases. So props to those guys, because I'll be honest, I think it's probably the toughest, the most effort I've really had to put into planning bases and not coming up with anything. I mean, really challenging.
I know, like hogs, man, like hogs.
That's right.
Yeah, don't hog Town Hall 10. Just don't.
All right. You want to wrap it up real quick, and we'll kind of do the swap over. We'll get Ash going and show our second half. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right.
Beautiful. So I'm going to give you guys a quick sneak preview of the war recap I did for our Week 1 CWL match. In the meantime, we're going to sort of drop the call and get set up for the second half of the show. So enjoy the recap here. First, we're gonna do this.
Let's get microphones muted for a few minutes, guys.
Yep. And we're dropping call anyways.
All right, guys, welcome back to the second half. Had some technical difficulties there in the break, so we lost our man Patino. So that's unfortunate, but we did gain a member to the conversation. Welcome, Ash. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Good. I am excellent.
Good.
I'm super pumped for tonight. Good to have you on.
It's good to be here, guys. It's good to be here.
That's great. I got the pleasure of meeting you in Chicago, actually. So that was awesome. That was a super fun event. One of many.
I remember
in your
you
books.
guys. I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. We were wearing the hockey jersey. You can see it in the background, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You can't forget that. So
that was a blast, man. I love those live events.
You get to go to more than them than us for sure, and not gonna lie, we're a little jealous of that but at the same token, it's for a good cause because not only do you do things for a lot of good causes like we did in Chicago, but just for Clash of Clans, the game itself, you amongst a few of the leaders in the game have really helped mold and I guess put a little pressure on Supercell for us. You act as our voice in a lot of ways for trying to at least get some vision into the minds of Supercell that we can relate with within the game. But I do want to say, my man JP really really has a lot of questions he wants to ask you. So I'm just going to let him kind of take the floor, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Can't wait.
Ash, man. So, like Roger said, it's an honor having you on here, man. Really appreciate you taking your time.
No problem, dude. It's an honor to be invited on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, we had a list of a few things we wanted to discuss here, and it's funny. I watched you on Snip's interview, and had a few of those same questions in mind. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse.
He sniped you.
He really did. He got me. So. What he talked about the live events. So I know the one that's still fresh is the CWL final in Finland. I know you talked about it with Jake a little bit of some of the changes you think could make it better, but talk about the excitement going into the last few attacks in that war when like you talked about, it could have gone either way at that point. Talk about the buzz in the room.
Yeah, well, before it went live, it looked like OneHive might pull it out. They were like poised to actually do it, because they had, I want to say they had like one or two more 10v10 3-stars right before we went live. And all they needed to do was clear the 11s, which Dark Ludus had already did. And I was thinking that OneHive had the advantage for, like, if we looked at the Vegas odds, I would say OneHive did have the advantage for a while there, going into the last 2 hours, and then kind of how things panned out. It got closer as to 50-50, and then Dark Ludus kind of pulled away at the very end there. We kind of knew that a lot had to go right for OneHive at the very end there, but it was still anybody's game, technically speaking, until the last attacks were literally 0 time on the clock. So it was awesome. You couldn't have asked for, as a somewhat neutral party. I was pulling for OneHive. I think everybody knows that, but as somewhat of a neutral party, in the caster role, you couldn't have hoped for a better finale than that.
I agree. I had it streamed up on my TV watching it, and I was really into that. It really was down to the wire. It drew me in completely, and I know there was a lot of buzz going on for that. So definitely well done on that. Also, I know you've done some of the smaller venue live events, Chicago Live, Denver Live. Talk a little bit about those and what it means to you and how it feels meeting some of your fans.
I don't think I really have fans. There's viewers, but
How many followers do you have? I'd say you have fans.
It's honestly, those are the best. Those are the best. I mean, I've been to multi-million-dollar events put on by Supercell and YouTube, and I've been to mom and pop events put on by the community. And more often than not, I have more fun at the. Not to say that they're not unique in their own ways, but I have more fun, I think, at the community, especially because we're doing good, right, for a good cause. Not to sound all altruistic about it, but at the same time, it does mean something that it's for charity and it's benefiting people. Us getting drunk is going to a great cause and having fun, and playing Clash of Clans. So that's what it's all about, really. And yeah, I mean, I love both though. I love the big venues. It's really cool to be a part of something that I would never experience. I'm certainly far from an actor or a movie star, so I would never be on these sets and in these venues, otherwise.
One thing JP asked Jake last week when we had him on was, have you ever been recognized in public?
It's actually funny that you asked that, because
obviously not at a Clash event.
Yeah, I have been. Seldom, very seldomly, but I mean, most of the time I just walk around and I'm like, do you know who I am? 300,000 subscribers.
That's
Hello.
right.
Nah.
Look at me.
No. Actually, I went to pick up food from my neighborhood Chili's like a week and a half ago or something, and I had my Supercell hoodie on. So I was there. I go to pick up the food in like the pickup area or whatever, and there was a guy waiting for his food. And he looks at me, and then he just looks down. Then he looks at me. I pay for my food. I pick it up, and right when I'm about to leave, he's like, "Clash with Ash," and I'm like, "And dude, this is legitimately like a week and a half ago, and this is the first time I've ever been recognized." And I'm like, "No," and he's like, "I wasn't 100% sure, but then I saw the Supercell hoodie, and I was like, dude, I have to say something."
Yeah.
So that was it. That's my one recognize.
That's
like
pretty awesome.
5 minutes away from me, as ironic as that is.
So do your friends, your coworkers, and your family, do they know the extent of your your following? I mean, do they know how well known you are in the Clash?
Well, all my friends live inside my mobile device, so no, I'm just joking. Yeah. So my coworkers and my friends, they used to give me crap about it, of course. But now that it's taking off in a lot of ways, it's the joke's on them pretty much. Not to sound like all high and mighty, but at first when I was just an addict, just spending thousands of dollars on a mobile game, everyone was kind of like, dude, I think Tim has a problem, and my friends, like one of my best friends, actually, like, I didn't have an intervention, but he was like, dude, you're neglecting your friends, you're spending all your paychecks on this game, and so, that was before YouTube and stuff. But yeah, I mean, now pretty much everybody's aware. It's funny though, like and this is like something I never talked about before, but when you have a different persona, like, so, I'm Ash, obviously, to most people who I interact with on a daily basis now. You kind of lose a little bit of, there's just no time to keep up with like social media on myself, if that makes sense. So now it's kind of like, I don't do, like, I deleted my Facebook and stuff, like my real life Facebook. And like, I used to be like, I was never an addict, but I used to be someone who, killed idle time scrolling through Facebook and stuff like that. But now, like, I'm no longer, I'm like, I spend so much time on Ash, but I don't spend any time, doing those.
You literally would have to live two personas at the same time. So you have to cut things out to make it realistic, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. So now I'm just Ash.
No, that's funny. I never really thought about that. Pretty funny having your dual personalities there.
Well, when you think about it, though, I mean, the amount of time, especially when I'm talking more from like clan leadership aspect, the fact that I read so many different chats a day within Clash before I even sit down and actually sit and play the game, right? And a lot of times you feel like you have to save time somewhere, right, just to be able to enjoy what you want to enjoy. So
yeah, it's tough,
So something we wanted to discuss a little bit. So Jake was on a couple weeks ago, and I asked him about the differences. He's playing Dawn of Titans now, between Dawn and Clash of Clans. Basically, what do you get out of one game? What do you not get out of the other? So talk a little bit about Clash Royale, Clash of Clans. What do you love the most about each game, and what is there that you get from one game you don't get from the other?
Oh man, Clash Royale. People are gonna start leaving the chat. People are gonna start tuning out.
We're gonna limit you to 30-second Clash Royale talk. That's it.
Well, it's a lot different because Clash Royale, believe it or not, in my opinion, it has a better infrastructure inside the game for a competitive to watch as a spectator now, not to take part in necessarily, but it's fast matches, it's high intensity from beginning to end. And it naturally kind of lends itself to the streaming, to watching. Whereas like when you have a good Clash of Clans stream, in my opinion, a lot of it is filler material, like analysis. And not that there's no analysis in Clash Royale, but it's more play-by-play Clash Royale all the time. There's no time for a lot of analysis. There's no time for breaking down attacks and stuff like that. So it's a lot different. It's just faster paced, really, in Clash Royale. So at these events, it's a lot different. I think that the Clash Royale team is ahead of where Clash of Clans is in terms of the esports genre in their game, but it's also a lot different. I mean, the Clash of Clans audience is a lot different than Clash Royale as well. Clash of Clans, way more hardcore, way more adult, and just takes the game way more seriously than most Clash Royale players. So it's very different. Both the communities are incredibly different, but in terms of the live events, in terms of the esportsness, that's what I like about Clash Royale right now. I mean, so many people ask me, what's going on, with you not posting Clash of Clans, but like part of it is, even though I play Clash of Clans every day, I'm really excited about the esport direction that Royale is going.
No, well, I got you. So
I was going to say a lot of it too is it's sort of based on a game. I think Clash of Clans was sort of a pioneer in its type of game, and you see a billion of those styles of games now, but nothing's like Clash of Clans. Whereas Clash Royale was almost sort of like a live version of card games like Hearthstone and whatnot, right? That and even before that, back when I was 15 years old, I was playing Magic the Gathering. I have Magic cards right beside me right now, and so it has that genre sort of on lockdown, right? That likes those styles of games, I believe. So
it's much different, it's hard to even compare the two games. It's very weird because like I'm working with some Summoner's War. I'm not sure if any of you guys played that game. Not to talk about a third game now, but it's basically more like it's more like Final Fantasy, where it's turn-based attacks and stuff like that. But like I look at a game like that and I'm like, man, I'm glad I never got my hands on a game like that, because that seems more my style than both Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. I come from, MMOs, and I think that like that's what appeals to me the most, just in my own personal preference. But I love the competitive aspects, or the most competitive elements of both communities is what really appeals to me.
No, that's you had some good points there. So we're gonna.
So you love MMOs. So tell me you have a secret closet affliction to World of Warcraft.
No, believe it or not, I have a secret closet affliction to EverQuest. The original.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I lost my whole college.
Planes of power for life, my friend. I did it all.
Yeah, I got into EverQuest in 1999, back when it was just the no expansions yet, or I think they just came out with like Velios or something or whatever. But either way, it was for 2 years. This is pathetic, but I don't say this with pride. But with 2 years, and this is right after I graduated high school. So like my first 2 years, I ended up dropping out of college. I ended up becoming every cliche that you could possibly imagine. Applying to an MMO person who's addicted that's what I had. So when World of Warcraft came out, actually my guild leader in EverQuest, not to go on a huge long rant, but my guild leader in EverQuest got a job at Blizzard, helping develop World of Warcraft. And that was like, it was crazy. So he tried to bring everybody on. And then I was just like, I had like a wake up call, this is back in, this is right around, not to tie in a million weird subjects, but this is right around 9/11, and I remember after that I was like, I can't do this. I can't just spend 15 hours a day playing a computer game, So that was my life though for a
Well,
while.
dude, I was there, man.
All
I do
right.
have a few questions though. So what expansion did you play until? Like when I'm trying to remember when
Yeah,
that
so
time
I
was.
played up until obviously the Luceland or
Loose Lynn.
whatever.
Yep.
Yep, I did that. I remember Planes of Power, but that was right around that I stopped being super competitive. So I remember like my Town Hall 9 account was Vexthal. I'm not sure I'm not sure if you remember that zone or whatever, but that was like the last thing that I got really into. So like Luceland update and Planes of Power was when I started to kind of tail off.
One of the hardest games of all time. Like you
It
look at,
was.
I play Warcraft still now. Actually, I didn't play for a long time. I just picked it up the very last expansion, to be honest. But
I feel bad for you,
comparing
man.
the two games is they're not even. I mean,
Nah.
they took ideas from each other, but completely different games. Anyways,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
move on from EverQuest and Warcraft because I'm sure the
I
other
didn't
two
know
are
if that would ever end.
bored as hell.
Okay, so let's get back to some Clash of Clans. Let's talk. So the state of the game. Let's talk Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11. Just run over how you think each Town Hall level is balanced, and do you think things need change at each level, or are you happy with where they're at?
So I think that it's tricky, right? Because Town Hall 11, it's always feels to me at least like Town Hall 10. I don't have a Town Hall 10 account, so it's hard to speak personally, but anecdotally, it feels like Town Hall 10's always been the most difficult, and it still is in my mind. But it really depends on what type of weight you're carrying into wars. In my clan, we roll with 20 Town Hall 11, so it's a lot different in terms of what you need out of your Town Hall 10s. And I look at things a little bit differently than a lot of the mixed war clans do. But with that said, I think Town Hall 9's, a lot of people say it's still too easy or it's become the new Town Hall 8. I kind of disagree with that. I think that Town Hall 9 is still one of the most entertaining attacks to watch, even though it is easier than it's been in the past. Just me, I love watching a really nice Town Hall 9 raid, even though it's easier than it used to be. So I'm still happy with Town Hall 9 personally. And Town Hall 11 is one of those things that so Town Hall 10 I think is a little bit too difficult compared to how difficult Town Hall 11 is. And Town Hall 11, just my opinion, is kind of one of indifference, to be honest with you. Like a lot of people prefer Town Hall 11, the highest Town Hall in the game, to be the most difficult. It should be a challenge even to pull off a 2-star. And I can relate to that, and I can understand how, because I remember back in the days, way before even Clan Wars, when pulling off a 2-star against a max Town Hall 10 was something to be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, and I remember that, and I actually liked that.
If
so,
you can
like,
get those pekkas to the core.
yes. Yeah, like you funnel those pekkas. Can you get your go wipe to the core of the base,
That's right.
And so I actually liked that, honestly. And then I can also relate to wanting an average player with a well-planned attack wanting to pull off a 3-star at a Town Hall 11. So I can see both sides of that equation. So honestly, I hate to ride the fence, but I guess I just don't care. As long as it's not easier than Town Hall 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very
sense.
close. Like I'm glad you sort of mentioned that about Town Hall 9 because I get that a lot on the channel, my channel as well. People commenting about how Town Hall 9 is so easy. Well, it's still you can still fail Town Hall 9 attacks very easily. You watch some of these top war clans, and they struggle at Town Hall 9 sometimes. Like it happens, and then if your Town Hall 9 struggle and you need to use dips, at our level of play, that is just killer, and it happens. So I don't think that aspect of gameplay is taken away from the Town Hall 9s by any means at this point. But like you said, it is slightly easier than back in the day when you had lightning spells to deal with the clan castle and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's really back in the day, yeah.
But at Town Hall 10, part of that though is at Town Hall 10, 10 versus 10 is very close. And I was going to say overall, I think they're really getting very, very close on the balancing to being pretty good. Town Hall 10 versus 10, you're seeing a lot of triples at that level in the high caliber play. So I don't know. I think they're getting better than they were. They're definitely better off than they were last
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
version.
I think this is the best balancing the game's had.
Yep.
I agree. So, we have to ask. I know you can't talk too much about it, but we are hearing about a huge, huge update coming. So, I know you can't say much about it, but is this as huge as we're hearing? Are you seeing this as a major, major change?
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I can't say much about it, but and I don't. Honest truth is that I haven't even played it or seen it. I've only heard about it. So it's hard to even say based on just hearing a description of what the update is, exactly how awesome or not awesome it's going to be. But I can tell you that, they use the word massive Supercell themselves. So I'm going to quote them and say that it is mass. From everything I've heard, I can only say that I've never seen or heard anything quite as big or interesting than this.
Wow.
Please just
exciting.
tell me, just as long as it's not Town Hall 12.
Town Hall 12 confirmed.
You heard it here first.
Honestly, the last time there was a huge, big, massive update, it was obviously Town Hall 11 to everybody's dismay at the time. And man, I was shocked. I remember the first time that I heard about it was one of the first times I went to Helsinki, and it was actually Galadon who I met first, and he's like, so did you hear about the new big update? And I'm like, no. I mean, I know it's coming. And he's like, you signed the NDA, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, it's Town Hall 11. And I'm like, what? It's Town Hall? Because I don't know. A lot of people thought it was going to be Town Hall 11, but I was firmly in the camp of no, it's not Town Hall 11. But it was.
Here's the thing about these updates. It really irritates me. People complain no matter what the update is. Yeah. I mean, and then a month later, everything's fine. You remember the Queen Walks Are Dead update?
Everything.
You've killed the game. You've killed the war. And it's just, I'm so tired of every time an update is announced, the nonstop complaining. People just need to relax, let the game play out.
I admit that I was a Town Hall 11 hater when it first came out. It bothered me. I was like just nearing max Town Hall 9. I was the Town Hall 9 for life guy. So Town Hall 11, adding that on just made it sort of. I knew that Town Hall 9 eventually would start getting pushed to the wayside because of that fact. So the game's evolved though. The game's changed. One thing I always talk about in videos is every update really changes how the game works in a lot of aspects. Like it's such a refined game compared to a lot of these other games you see. Like even something like Clash Royale, it sure has a long way to go. Like imagine Clash Royale 5 years from now, right? So
so for several years I felt like a lot the updates would come out and Supercell just kind of brushed off the war community for the people that were just pushing trophies and such, but that Friendly War update, when that came out and the war community went kind of crazy about you're going to make everybody a modder, right? And Supercell took people's suggestions and they modified what the Friendly War was and tried to fix it at least, so that people weren't able to build a base and then practice on it during clan wars and stuff. I thought that they did. So it seems like they're listening. They're paying close attention to, I don't know, people who are serious about the game.
Yeah, they definitely shifted in the and who knows? Like I don't want to be a cynic, but at that point when they were ignoring the war community, that's when they were grossing $2 million plus a day, and now that it's more of a hardcore base left where they're at, I throw these numbers out there, but whatever, they could be so far off. But according to whatever website, now they're at like 400,000 a day, So I think when you have a smaller fan base, you don't have to worry quite as much about pleasing, 2 billion casual fans. You can actually cater towards, your more hardcore audience. But at the same time too, like they've, ever since I started a relationship with Supercell, there's been people inside the Clash team. Anushka, obviously, she gets so much credit, and she deservedly so does. You guys met her in Chicago. But she, Anna really, she's always had a mission to support like the more competitive war scene, and honestly, just finally the rest of the team is coming around to it recently, but it's been something that they've talked about, that I've talked about with her for years, honestly, and this is dating back to, before the Town Hall 11 update. So quite a while, but it's something they've always had their eye on, but luckily, the community and Supercell both have kind of come together to make this environment what it is today. So I think everybody's pretty pleased.
Oh, absolutely. So a little bit of a different topic here. So from a personal standpoint, you're beyond the mic. Your series you did Beyond the Mic. I know the first one you really opened up, spoke about your mom, and then the unfortunate passing of your brother on the second episode. So that hit me on a personal note, because I have a cousin with special needs, and I know what you mean about that love, just the absolute love they show. So were you a little bit apprehensive opening up on that first video, and how did you feel after those 2 videos released with the support you got?
Man, yeah, it was a year yesterday that my my brother passed.
Wow.
So it's crazy how a year flies by, but it's still something that I don't know. It's just, I'm sure I don't have to say it, but like you just, I don't know, just dealing. It's tough to deal with. I don't even deal with it. I just push it aside mostly, but putting those 2 videos out, man, it was such a mixed emotion thing, because like part of you feels like, who am I to even like there's no doubt about it, whether you agree or disagree or have sympathy or not. It's like an overshare times a billion, but at the same time, like, I always had that feeling that if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, that like, love me or hate me, I'm just going to tell you who I am, and tell me what I'm thinking about. So when that's one of those videos that you just like, both of them, I remember recording, and as I was recording both of them, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to release these, like, like I'm going to redo it, and I'm not going to be as emotional or as whatever, but then you look at it, and then I didn't watch either back once, but you think about it when you're done, you're just like, you know what, I said it, I felt it, it was the first take, I'm just going to put it out there. So that's basically what it was, and I didn't, and then same thing with both of the videos too. I just hit the upload button, closed my laptop, closed my computer, and went and thought about something else and did something else. And then the next day is when I kind of caught up on how it was received.
Yeah, that was very powerful. I know personally, I appreciate you opening up like that.
Thanks, man.
Really meant a lot to a lot of people.
Thanks.
All right, so kind of bummed everyone out there for a minute. So I told you before we started I was going to ask you a couple questions.
The ship's coming. The ship's
yes,
coming, guys.
It's coming. I told you before we started I was going to ask you a couple questions that I know you haven't been asked on one of your interviews and podcasts and videos. So tell me, this is a little bit random, who would you say is your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. We'll go with...
drum roll, please.
I have so many, it's tough. I met Mandy Moore.
Oh.
When I was like 17, when she had like her first hit out or whatever. And then like we had a little, it's like the lamest story ever. Like, but I played hooky from school. I went to a radio station where she was visiting, and there was a guy outside with flowers waiting for her. I bought half the flowers from him, and then we both presented her with the flowers, and she was like, "You." And she made eye contact with me, and she's like, "You are so cute." And
that's incredible.
So yeah, so we've always had a little something going on with her.
I love it.
But yeah, I got a ton of celebrity crushes. I think the singer Sarah Bareilles. I'm not sure if you've heard of her, guys, but I don't know why, but I just have something for her. I think we just got a little chemistry going on.
I love it. See, we'd have never heard that wonderful story. That was awesome. So, last question here, and then if Wiser or Dr. D have any questions, but drink of choice. If you're gonna sit down Friday night, you're relaxing, What's your go-to, man?
Alcoholic or non?
Alcoholic.
Because usually my Friday nights, I'm so lame that my Friday nights, probably a drink of choice for me is definitely coffee, and a lot of
Attaboy.
it. A lot of it.
Mhm.
But I'm not actually a big drinker. You wouldn't know from the Clash Live events.
I was about to say, you had
I
a good
know.
time at
Save it
Chicago.
up. I save it all up, and then I'm a one night a monther or whatever. But no, I mean, for mixed drinks, I'm like super old fashioned, just a Maker's Mark and ginger ale. So Maker's and ginger. And for beer, I do like micro beer stuff, micro brewed stuff. So anything like local, I like. It's called Three Monkeys. It's by I don't know. I like all kinds of stuff, basically micro brew stuff.
Good stuff. So, Wiser and D, y'all have anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, real quick. So you said you're a Mandy Moore fan. You like This Is Us?
Good question. I don't. Oh, I haven't watched it. I should say I haven't watched it. But my dad is like, my dad and his girlfriend are like the hugest fan, and they talk about it incessantly. So that's maybe why. That's why it was on the brain, I guess.
Gotcha.
I did want to just elaborate on a point. Just that I had mentioned. I had met you in Chicago. I sort of knew, like I knew of your video. I watched multiple videos leading up to that point. I had been doing content for 2.0 for a little while, and I remember vividly we matched up with one of your older clans. I mean, I know sort of your clan family has kind of gone through sort of transition phases to just being more casual family clan into. Was I right in saying Elite Gaming was your clan,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they're part of our clan family. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have transitioned a lot, but I remember when quite a long time ago we matched up with 2.0 with you, and I remember saying to myself, I'm like, oh wow, it's Ash, hey, we're matched up against them. I got to recap a war, and I remember I recapped the whole war, and my mic was unplugged. I don't have the most amazing setup by any means, but I don't know if you remember if you've ever had any of those stories from when you were a young YouTuber or your channel when you got the state of the art kind of equipment now. I'm sure you don't have those issues anymore.
No, I have the issues all the time, man. I'm sorry to say. Still, I recorded a whole video like 3 days ago that I had to. That it just the quality of the interview was so bad that I had to have the poor guy come on and redo the entire thing yesterday. So, yeah, that happens not all the time, but it happens from time to time. I've recorded like 4 videos that I never released because I just wasn't happy with them. So I think I'm going to release them on Facebook because the stakes are so low. But I uploaded one of them on Facebook yesterday. But like, yeah, I mean, besides that, like just random topics. Like one of them was like 300 troop, and I was like, you know what, this is so stupid. After I made it, because like Clash of Clans gave us access to the 300 troop developer build thing, whatever, And then we all saw, like, I think we all got the stars in our eyes when we saw, like, Godsons get, like, 100 million views or something. And I was like, I'm going to do it. So everybody did it, and everybody released them except for me. And I had them on recorded and ready to release, but I just, like, overslept or whatever. And then I saw everybody else is just getting, like, mediocre views and getting hate. And I'm like, you know what? This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Thank God I slept in.
Yeah, somewhere in my YouTube blog, there's a 300 goblins OMG video or something.
Still sitting there unlisted.
Still sitting there unlisted.
Yeah. So one thing I did want to ask of you, and I was hoping you could relate to this. I've tweeted to you, and I'm sure Powerbank you get on board with this. This 24-hour lifetime on the Clan Challenge replays. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. If there's anything you get through if you ever get your edge in on Supercell, see if they can do something about that. And then the spectators too. I mean, now that these events are getting to the point where they're at, like for crying out loud, they flew people up from Germany, but yet they can only have 30 spectators at a time. Or
yeah, the thing, yeah, like as far as the replays, like you'd have to ask Powerbang, man. He has all the pull in Clash of Clans now. But honestly, I think I think that honestly, it's the spectators is something that they're gonna address. I hope, I mean, I have no inside knowledge to that, but I just know that at the live event, we were like, boy, would it be nice if we could watch this,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that was a very big moment.
yeah.
Actually, something else I wanted to mention. So I did meet you in Chicago, and it's crazy, like watching your videos sort of coming up and starting to do videos myself, and then meeting you at Clash of Clans. It's just crazy how different you can sort of perceive someone just watching their YouTube videos versus actually meeting them in real life. And I just want to say, for this little amount of time I spent with you, you gave me the feeling. I know it's with a lot of these guys. You gave me the feeling walking away like, wow, that guy's awesome. So just wanted you to know that.
Thanks, man. I
No
appreciate
worries.
it. Did you think I was some kind of a jerk beforehand?
You just don't know.
Perfect. I love that question.
I think everyone gets their sort of preconceived notions of
No, for
people.
sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the way to describe it, but you definitely weren't what I fully expected.
No,
That's part of the
second that.
reason. Honestly, that's part of the reason that I added Facecam to my channel too, just to like add a little bit more, like
Yeah.
like you're talking to me, so that way it's not, because when you just hear a voice, sometimes you just imagine, I guess, like, and you just don't have a
Absolutely.
feel. But yeah, I can totally get that.
But sort of tying into to what you were mentioning about, like, even at the CWL finals, where you're like hitting replay and sweet, I can't even watch it, and we're at the finals.
Yeah.
I think in Chicago, I don't know if you remember, but that's where I met Anna, and I was glad you brought up Anna, because I did get a chance to speak with her, and I thought that was awesome. But when I spoke with Jake about his conversation with Anna, he was a little concerned, because, like you said, it was like at that point she was a solo voice for Supercell. The people she was going to and telling our concerns, and bringing that elite community ideas or ideology to the table with Supercell. No one was really listening to it at that point, so it's good to hear you say that. Finally, it seems like a good chunk of them have jumped on board and are gonna.
Yeah, they've jumped on the bandwagon. The rest of them with Anna.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember the horrible thing about Chicago Live was that was before friendly challenges, and
yeah,
we mismatched
Yep.
the war.
We mismatched. For Chicago Live. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, whether it was the matching for Chicago Live or more specifically and more pertinent to today, the whole 15 spectators. Like, listen, I am the farthest thing you could possibly find from a programmer or from anybody who would have any clue on to how to get, any clue out of programming. So with that disclaimer out there, like, it's beyond it. I feel like it should be super easy to increase the capacity of spectators when you can have 15 freaking thousand people watching a Clash Royale match, and you can't have 16 watching a Clash of Clans battle.
Yeah.
To me, that seems like something you should be able to go in there. Jonas should pull out his keyboard and change value to 40. I mean, I don't know that, obviously. I'm kind of half joking.
But
it seems like it shouldn't be that difficult of a task to do.
No.
But who knows? I mean, obviously it is, I guess,
Yeah, I couldn't think of a negative for Supercell. I mean, I don't know what the negative would be to adding more slots is, but I agree. That's something I hope to see, and I feel like it's something that could easily be added.
Yeah, because that's something that a lot of people run into. It's not just the competitive clans, because even our more casual clans, especially if things are heating up towards the end, you can't get in, and it's just not fun. You need to watch the end of these wars is what everybody plays the game for. So it affects the casual players too. So, I hope that's something that they do add. It's a small quality of life thing that would go a long way, I think.
Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had. I don't know if anyone else had any other questions I want to bring up.
No, last statement I'll make. I wanted to pass on to the Clash of Clans team and Supercell that we do appreciate the changes they're making. I know people still complain and moan and groan on Twitter, but it's very noticeable and it's very appreciated. It's kept me playing this game way longer than I thought I would, and I see myself playing for a very long time because they're actually paying attention and making positive changes. So, there's nothing coming from me, but just pass that on to the guys that it is very appreciated.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that everybody agrees that definitely making huge strides, steps is too small of a word, in the right direction in Clash of Clans.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Glad you guys feel that way.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap this thing up. We've been running on long
All right.
enough. But Ash, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. Taking the time to hang out with us here.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a pleasure to chat Clash of Clans and a whole lot of other stuff too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. We'll have to have
And
you back.
EverQuest.
And EverQuest. That's right. Oh,
Yes.
sorry. One more question before we.
Oh, here we go again.
Uh-oh.
EverQuest.
You didn't. What was your main? What did you?
Yeah,
play?
my main was an enchanter.
I was an enchanter
Ashlane.
too. That's
Ashlane.
awesome.
That's where I got the name from, Ash.
That's awesome. We crowd control, bitch. That's how it
You were
goes.
too?
Yeah, I was that. My main was a chanter.
I
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah,
That was
that's
that
right.
connection we had.
It's the
We can
connector.
tell.
Just like this. All right,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Well, thanks for coming out. That'll do it for episode 4. 2 Bees, 1 Hive. JP, Rob Dvorak, and of course the guy we couldn't have, Jake Redenbaugh, Patino. But we'll get him get that fixed up and get him in next time. Until then, we will be back.
Take care, guys.
Yep. See ya.
Hey, man, thank you.